Hello, everybody. I'm Lachelle.
I'm Don.
And this is Chewy and Malla.
And welcome to this episode of Puppies Are People Too.
Welcome to Morrison Madness, yes. So we wanted to give you a 6-month-ish update.
Yeah, hi,
so
buddy.
they're just a little over 6 months at this
Hi,
point,
buddy.
and you can tell that they want to get into everything. But we can see if we can get them to do a few tricks here. Can we do school?
No, you got to stay in the bed, dude.
School? Yeah. Hey, come here. Sit. Well, that was cheating. You were both already sitting. No, you need to sit. Good sit, Malla. Sit, Chewy. Sit. Good boy. Say please. Good say please, Malla. Chewy, say please. Good boy. Good say please. Okay, sit. Good boy. Good girl. Down. Good downs. Good puppers.
So, it makes it seem like they're both on the same level when it comes to this, and they are not. Chewy is so far ahead of Malla.
Sit.
And he's only
Good sit.
2 weeks older than her.
Sit.
But we feel like she was not
sit.
the best taken care of by the people that we got her from.
Yeah.
And Chewy was much more socialized, and he
Hold on.
wants to learn and
Wait.
wants to do school, and he learns a lot faster and better than
Has a
Malla
longer
does.
attention span and stuff too.
He's also much more of an
I just
explorer
poked you in the eye.
that
I'm
learning
sorry.
thing. He wants to
Are you
go
okay?
explore everything, see everything.
Okay, ready? Sit. You guys, what are you doing? Are you giving up?
No, he's not giving up. I know what he wants.
You want your belly rubbed, don't you?
No, I can tell you what he wants. Why don't you grab him real quick? And I'll move this out of the way.
Okay.
Now, have him...
All right, ready? Sit. Down. Roll over. No, roll over. Roll over. There's a
Yeah,
good
that's
boy.
what he wanted. That's why he was laying down.
There's
he was
a
ready
good
to...
boy.
He
Yeah,
was
you
ready
just
to
want your
roll
belly
over.
rubbed. Yes, I know. You just want your belly rubbed. Come here. All right. Here we go.
So Malla doesn't do rollover yet.
She
tried a
doesn't
couple
like
times.
to roll over.
No, she doesn't like to be on her back. Nope, you got to stay in the bed, baby.
You gotta stay in the bed.
Yep, you got to stay here.
All right, let's try. Can you give me 5? Good puppers. 5. Yeah. Good puppers. All right, lay down. 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 Leave. No, roll over. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Good puppers. Sit. Sit. Good puppers. Okay. 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 Yeah, you want to give 5 yet? Good girl. So yes, they're doing very well, as you can see, and they do have the buttons. I forgot to pick the buttons up.
So these two puppies, and I've had quite a lot of dogs growing up, these two puppies get into more stuff and destroy more things than any other dogs that I have. In fact, all the other dogs that I've had combined. Chewy is on his 3rd collar, and it already has bite marks on it.
Yep.
It's brand new.
Malla likes to chew off Chewy's collar when they're
and
playing.
She breaks the buckles on them to the point where they won't stay on him.
Yeah.
And then we can't have a coffee table in the living room because Chewy gets up on the coffee table and eats anything that's on it, whether it's food or not. He eats it. He has gotten Super Balls off of there, pens, pencils, paper clips, screws, Sharpies, magic cards, notebooks.
Yep.
I had a
Kleenexes.
I had a list of songs or of artists that I was going to make a Name That Tune category for a regular at one of our Name That Tune shows, and Chewy ripped it apart to the point where I couldn't even read any of the stuff on it. They have torn up big chunks of our linoleum from when we put our sliding doors in
because it doesn't have the.
I didn't finish getting it framed out, so that's
frame
on
on
me.
it.
But they still shouldn't tear it apart.
No, and they started chewing up pulling the plaster off the wall on the corners too because it's. What are you doing?
Well,
you want
and
your belly
how many
rubbed, but
times
you're
have we
chewing my
caught them
thumb.
just chewing on a piece of furniture?
Yes.
On the legs of the chairs, on the edge of the dresser.
Yes.
I mean, they're monsters.
Yes.
I've
And
never.
they
we
eat-
give them bones.
Oh, they
we
have
give
so
them
many bones.
chew sticks. They've got nyla bones. They've got bully sticks. They've got
No, yeah,
rawhide.
stay.
All kinds of stuff.
Are you guys hungry? Yeah.
But personally, I think, and
Hungry?
we will add some pictures. Our AV guy said that he could
Nope.
add some pictures in to this.
Oh, yeah.
The worst thing that I think that has happened so far with them.
Which, if you follow us on Facebook, you would have seen in our Morrison Madness group.
Right.
A little bit about it.
So, especially if it's raining out, Chewy does not like to go out and go to the bathroom.
Yes.
And even though we took him out several times, Chewy also is what we call a ninja pooper. He will go somewhere and hide and poop so quick that we don't know that he has done it. Because when he leaves the living room, when we're in there, we get up and try and follow him. And if he starts acting like he's going to go to the bathroom, we take him outside so he can go to the bathroom.
Their food and water is in the dining room, right. So then they have to leave the living room to be able to get to something to drink. And
but we keep an eye on him.
Where are you going?
And try not to just let them, be hanging out in the dining room because we know.
Right.
And we're trying to, get them fully potty trained. We don't want the accidents to happen. So one night, last week, before we went to bed, apparently Chewy ninja pooped underneath the dining room table, and we didn't see it when we were turning off all the lights and all of that kind of stuff and getting them in their kennel. And then in the middle of the night, Robbie the rambunctious Roomba
come
was scheduled to clean the kitchen and the dining room and the living room.
Sit.
And thankfully, he did the living room first.
No, he was just the dining room and kitchen.
Oh, just the dining room and kitchen?
So he did the kitchen first.
He did the kitchen first.
Will you say please?
But then
say please.
Robbie found Chewy's poop. And, and smeared it all over
himself
and the back half of the
dining room.
Yes. Where we had to
down
mop and Clorox wipe and take him apart. And we tried to clean a bunch of his internal parts, and some of them we just had to throw them away and buy new parts for him, the rollers that are on him.
Sit. Good sit. Sit.
So I had no idea that this had happened because Lachelle got up way before me to go to a doctor's appointment.
Good boy.
And when I got up in the morning and came out,
give me 5, Mom.
There was a sign, and we'll post a picture of this too. There was a sign on top of the coffee pot because Lachelle knows if she wants me to know anything, make a sign for it, put it on the coffee pot.
Hold on.
That's the first place I go in the morning.
So right here, we'll put the sign. Okay, and then what did the sign say for those that are not on the video and didn't see the picture?
Right. So the sign says, do not walk in the back half of the dining room or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it says. By the patio doors.
Say please.
Chewy pooped in the middle of the night. Robbie found it and smeared it all over.
Down.
So
down.
I was like, oh my God, that's horrible. I'm glad I wasn't the first one up and had to deal with it.
No, so I went to the doctor's appointment and I come back home. And then you had to leave for a doctor's appointment.
Right.
So I decided at that point, I hadn't talked to my mom in a while, and I knew I was just going to be busy. So I called Mom and told her what had happened. And I was like, so I'm just going to chat while we're cleaning Robbie up here. So Robbie got a spa day, and it took like 2-3 hours for me to clean Robbie. And then I still had to scrub the floor, too. I did scrub the floor first. So then that way we could walk around. But because I had sprayed it before I left. So I scrubbed that up. So we got use out of our microfiber mop, that's for sure. I had gotten extra microfiber pads specifically for them because we have some Norwex stuff.
Right.
But I didn't want to use Norwex because we use the Clorox cleaner and what have you because of their accidents.
Right. But I had left the rollers in the sink to soak, and then when I got home, I tried washing them. One of them came clean.
From Robbie.
Right. But the other one, I couldn't even get it clean. And you started looking them up, and you're like, yeah, we're just going to get replacement parts.
They were cheaper to just replace than to try and worry about cleaning and doing all of that.
Well, it's not even that. You want to make sure they're clean. And yeah, I just couldn't get that one clean. Right. Yeah, you're a problem child, aren't you? Yes, you're a problem child, aren't you?
But we do get a lot of questions from people as to whether or not they get along.
Yes. And you can see they love each other. They get along great. They love to play together. They don't even like to be separated. Like if Chewy gets in trouble and has to go in timeout, Malla sits over by the kennel until he gets to come back out.
Yep.
Even if she just ignores him after that, she doesn't like it when he gets in trouble. And Chewy tends to get in trouble a lot more than Malla does.
He does. But so part of it is the biggest reason that Chewy tends to get in trouble is because we didn't have a fenced-in yard. And you have bought the kennel fences that you can attach together that are movable. And so we have 8 of them now in our yard attached together because 4 wasn't big enough. They were unhappy that they couldn't run enough in 4.
Yes.
And so you have to stay in the bed. Do I need to move this closer? Is that the problem? Oh, yes. Okay. I'm sorry. So then I even get the look like, well, duh. Anyway,
So anytime when we would let them out to go potty, anytime a neighbor is out in their yard, zoom, across the street Chewy goes.
yes,
to go say hi to them.
Chewy was the neighborhood greeter, or I don't know. He just loves everybody. He just had to say hi to everybody, and now he's even mad when he's in the fence and they're out and he can't get to him. He whines and what have you. But yeah, so. And still, even though we have the fences, we have a deck that you have to come down off the deck and then go into the fence. And in the morning when you're carrying their treats and the poop bags and stuff like that, and sometimes a drink or whatever, because we're not awake yet, I don't have a hand to carry them.
Right, but we're fixing that. I've got steps put on the other side of the deck. I just haven't taken that railing off.
Right.
And I need to build the gate.
Yeah, so we're going to fix that. We're going to build another set of stairs. So then
they're going right down into the fenced area.
And there'll be a gate so they can't come off the front part, the regular stairs that humans tend to use. But the issue is that because we have to let them out and then put them into a fence, Chewy's quick.
Yes.
And he somehow knows when people are out, even though he's been down on the other side of the house. He just already knows who's out and where they're at, and he goes to them directly. And so it's gotten to the point where we carry Chewy and let Malla run because Mala's less apt to go. But Malla has been getting better, and part of that is because she is very shy, more skittish on stuff. And so she has gotten braver and now will go to the neighbors without Chewy. So even if I'm carrying Chewy, she'll go on her own. So we need to get the fence fixed.
So the other issue with the fence...
But that's why Chewy was getting in more trouble. Because he tended to run to the neighbors. And we live on a cul-de-sac, so there's not a lot of traffic and stuff.
So the other issue with the fence is when we have weddings, we have one of the kids come over and let them out and feed them dinner before they go to work, because my kids work at night and we're gone all day for weddings. And a couple months ago, my son messaged me, and then we talked more about it later, but he was sitting outside and an owl came down.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And just missed him and tried to grab Chewy, and he had to fight the owl off. And then, like, 3 weeks later, no, not even 2 weeks later, I feel like, we were outside.
Yeah.
And it's, nighttime. It was like 12 o'clock. We'd come home from a show and we let them out and we're walking around with them outside. And I said, "Do you hear that sound?"
Well, you'd gone back in for something. I don't remember.
To grab the light.
It could have been the light or poop bags or something that way. And I thought I heard somebody doing, like, impact drilling, like an impact screwdriver or whatever, like something you would use to hang stuff up in somebody's garage. I thought they were in their garage, the doors were shut. It's, in the middle of the night. And I thought that's what I was hearing, was this sound. And so then you come out and you're like, "Do you hear that?" I'm like, "Yeah, somebody's doing some construction in their garage or something." And you were like, "Yeah, no,
that's owls make this. Well, I don't know if all birds of prey do. I just know that owls do this. They ruffle their feathers, and it makes this sound.
Chewy, come.
And the owl was doing that, getting ready to launch itself. And I was looking around all over for it, and I saw it on one of the neighbors' houses. And thankfully, it didn't swoop down at us, at the dogs. It swooped from the house to the top of the light pole on the cul-de-sac. And I saw it, and I shined the light up at it, and I'm like,
"Give me 5.
The owl just landed there. We need to get them inside." Yeah. So we scooped the dogs up. But now with this fence, there's not enough room, really, for a bird of prey to come down and get the dog without kind of hitting that fence.
Right.
And I feel a lot safer, having them out there, not having to stand right next to them. We don't leave them out there by themselves for more than 5 or 10 minutes at a time. Like we might come in and go to the bathroom, or we might come in and get a drink.
I have not let them out at night by themselves ever.
No, right.
During the day, yes, and usually the neighbors are out, so we know when the neighbors are out because they're barking at them the whole time. So, and a lot of times the neighbors will come over and pet them and give them some attention anyway. So, but yeah, so that's our 6-month update. Now where are you going? You're supposed to stay in the bed.
They're not used to being on the table. We don't ever let them on the table. We don't even, if they're sitting on our lap and we're at the table, we don't even let them put their paws on the table. Nope. So we're trying to make sure that they don't get over on the wood part. We want them to know that this isn't a normal thing.
That's why the bed is here, so they realize we're in a bed. It's okay. It's all right to do it this way. Yeah. I know. That's only half of your supper, isn't it? We're still hungry. Yeah. Did I put the other half on the floor? I don't know. We'll get you the other half in a little bit. So I don't know what other questions people had about the puppers. What was their weights? She was 9.2 something, and he was 5.2.
Something like that.
For their quote unquote 6 months. So he would have been 6 months just a little before October 1st, and she's 6 months a little after October 1st.
Right.
And we weighed them more like October 15th because life is crazy and we didn't get it done on time. So
I think the biggest questions we have from people is, the Fluent Pet, how does that work? Yeah. And the training with that is a little slower. They both know hungry and thirsty and outside potty. We've started trying to get them to do
help
and to have them do mommy and daddy.
Yeah, I just started the mommy and daddy ones this week, right? And they already, I think they're curious. They know that the buttons mean something, and so then they'll just go over and randomly hit it. So then it's trying to reinforce that that's what that means.
Right.
And so, yesterday?
And they know what play is. They know when they hit the play one that, we'll grab a toy and play with them.
Yep. And all done, they're still trying to figure that one out.
Right.
They're not quite sure. Because we'll just be laying down watching TV, and they'll just be chilling, and then all of a sudden one of them will get up and hit all done. And I don't know if that's like I'm all done laying still. I'm going to do other stuff. I'm not quite sure. But the other day, shortly after I put the buttons out, I don't know if it was like a day or two later, and you needed to go take a nap in the middle of the day because we had an early morning and a late night. And when you went to lay down, Mala went over and hit the daddy button. And I said, Daddy's taking a nap. And then she just kind of looked at me, and then she hit the daddy button again. So I picked her up and I brought her down because you had just gone to lay down. And I brought her down, and she was really excited to see you. And then when we came out and I put her down, she went over, and then she hit the mommy button and came over and jumped up in my lap.
Oh, good.
So I think she's getting the mommy daddy, but it's hard to know for sure.
Right.
Because they're not consistent yet enough.
But they're young. I mean, Kaylee learned all of those stuff without buttons.
Correct.
And I came into Kaylee's life halfway, in the middle. She was 6, 7, 8, something like that.
Yeah.
But she learned, that I was daddy and.
Yep. Yeah, and you can see they're hungry and they're tired. Their schedule is off today because I was up cleaning and not.
Well, and their schedule's changing as they get older. Normally they would take a nap around 11:30.
Yeah.
And they're missing that morning nap, and they're wanting to take a nap closer to 12:31.
Right, but then they're still waking up at 2:00 in the afternoon or 3:00 in the afternoon.
Because they're used to taking another nap at 6 o'clock, 5, 6 o'clock.
Right.
Because of our shows.
Yep. So, yeah, it's been a little.
For the most part, they're good. I mean, we still have, like I said, some issues with the potty training. Some of that's due to weather. Some of that's due to our schedule. The biggest thing is, getting into stuff. We can't have anything down on the floor, nothing on a lower level shelf, and we can't have a coffee table, because Chewy thinks that's fair game.
Yes.
You walked in on him the other day, and he was on top of the table. We had left out some Doritos and he had his face down in the bowl and.
Oh yeah, chomping away.
Going to town.
And Mala's sitting on the couch watching him, going, "Dude, you're gonna get in trouble." You can just tell. Like she's like, "You're not supposed to get up there." But yeah, no, they get along really well, and yes, they do fight just like siblings do. But really, it's more play fight majority of the time. The couple times they do really get frustrated with each other, it's more usually because one of them starts playing too hard for the other one.
Or one of them finished their bone and the other one hasn't, and they want that person's bone. And
although you can give them two of the same exact bones, and they still want to go after the same one.
Yeah, they want to fight over a bone. They'll leave one lay there and fight over one particular bone.
Yes. Yep. So, anyway.
We'll do another update in 3 to 6 months, depending on their growth, their development, whether or not we've kicked them out of the house.
Right. And hopefully at some point we can actually bring the buttons up and have them try and do some buttons. But we'll see. That one's a little harder to catch for a podcast kind of idea. It's easier when it's just short things on our Facebook Morrison Madness group, or Madness members group, I think maybe is what it is. If you go to the Morrison Madness page
Right.
and go to groups underneath the page, it's the group for the page.
Right.
And so we created that because then people could comment and post their own things. So you can post your own stuff into the Morrison Madness group, in all honesty, if you want.
Right.
So we created that group just so there was a little bit more communication between people, because we want you guys to be a part of the community and really enjoy each other.
Well, and we like seeing pictures of other people's pets.
Yes, we do. So definitely share your photos and videos of your pets as well. Hi, sweetie. And I think one of the things that we had when we introduced Malla was how much of a mama's girl she is. And
Yes.
she still is. She's still my puppy over yours. But she does like to go and cuddle with you, even if I'm laying there now. Where before, if I was in the room...
Yeah, she's getting to more where, especially if she gets tired of Chewy, she'll come over and jump up and want to lay with me.
Yep.
When I'm sitting in my chair.
Yep. So she's grown quite a bit as far as socially that way. Chewy has always just been
the outgoing
crazy pup from the get-go. And he lives up to his name. He likes to chew on everything.
Yes, he does.
So, where Mala's more of a nudger. She nudges everything.
So if you have any questions about the puppies or about Fluent Pet or foods that we feed them or any other kind of stuff like that,
and treats.
Right.
We've tried lots of treats.
Yes, and I used to own a pet store, so I have an extensive knowledge of foods and treats and that kind of stuff. We're happy to try and answer anybody's questions, and
they're fit barks.
If we get enough questions about a particular item,
right.
Maybe that's something that we can do a podcast about in the future as well.
So real quick before, well, maybe if I can show it. So I don't know. It's easier to see on Malla. You can see this little bone that's on her collar.
You can see the one on Chewy because it's all chewed up.
It's all chewed up, and it's...
Malla keeps trying to chew his collar off.
So those are Fitbits for dogs, and so they stay on the collar. They last for 6 months before you have to recharge them, and they're battery operated, and it syncs to an app on your phone, and you can see how active they've been, which was super helpful from day one because, especially with the two of them, they will tend to play until they're so exhausted that then they start fighting because neither one of them wants to lay down first, kind of idea. And so then it was good for us to be like, oh, they've already been super active, and that's why they're being feisty right now. They just need to be in separate kennels and take a time out. So we could kind of track that a little bit more. So because there was two of them, it was super helpful. And it helped to, like, you could really tell. I did get an alert when she had her spading. The Fitbit gave me an alert, and for both of them actually, and said they're not as active as normal. Are they feeling okay?
Right.
And so then it's that kind of stuff that it really helps. So then as they get older and if they're getting sick, things that way. So you kind of want to start that Fit Bark earlier. Not that you have to start when they're puppies, but...
And again, Fit Bark and
Fluent Pet,
they're not sponsors.
No,
hint.
They're not sponsors.
So if you have more questions about them, please comment. Check us out on all of the social medias, and we'll have these guys on again soon, I'm sure.
All right, are you going to say goodbye? Hey. Are we going to say bye-bye?
Should we say goodbye? Can you say bye?
Say bye-bye. You don't even know where to look.
No.
Yeah, you're looking at me like, why are you going somewhere? All right, we'll talk to you another time. Have a good time. Woo! Don't jump off the table.